Hey YouTube, I am bringing you a quick turnaround on the Zombie Tiger Decayed Commander deck. Someone did comment literally that day, so let's go ahead and throw it together. As I was building this deck, it took a little bit of, I guess, testing, theorizing, things of that nature. Just look at it and think, what is going to be the best way to play? Starting with the traps, and the traps alone are going to give the deck away as to what I'm playing. I'm playing one Torrent, one Ring of Destruction, one Mirror Force, followed by two Dust Tornado, and two Blast with Chain. So right away you already know I'm playing some kind of Gearfried build. Why did I choose Gearfried? So the reason I'm playing Gearfried and I'm choosing Dust Tornadoes to run as opposed to literally any other build is because as I was thinking about it and as I was playing, one of the biggest weaknesses to Decayed Commander is going to be Book of Moon. If they Book of Moon while you have Zombie Tiger equipped, that's a +1. Sakuretsu armor, you can't really do much against. You can run, Sakuretsu armor, Mirror Force, whatever. You can, in Ray of Destruction, you can run a Royal Decree, but at the end of the day, I think Book of Moon is just more of a problem, more widespread. You can use other monsters to try to bait out those cards, but Book of Moon is just, it's too good. So that's why I chose to run Dust Tornado along with Blast with Chain. This is to preemptively strike out those Book of Moons or Sakuretsu Armors, Mirror Forces, whatever it is, before they have a chance to use them. They get the same thing done. As well, at the same time, Blast with Chain, that 500 attack equipped on Decayed Commander puts him up to 2,000. He's basically at that point able to attack over every single normal monster or normal summonable monster in the entire game. So going on to spells, I run a pretty generic 5 spells. And then something you'll notice is missing from here that a lot of people, let me move this a little bit, run for the most part is going to be, let me move this a little bit again, sorry about this, is going to be Snatch Steal. We'll live with it. We'll flex. Snatch Steal, Premature Burial. So the reason I'm not running those is because as I was building this, I had to run more and more cards to try to accommodate what the goal is. The reason decks like GOAT format or Chaos Control or Warriors or whatever are so good is because they are able to adapt to any sort of climate. You don't have to build towards one strategy. As I'm building this deck, really Decayed Commander, like you have, if you're gonna play that along with Zombie Tiger, you have to build towards that. And if that strategy is ruined, well, it's tough to incorporate a fallback plan on top of having those cards. So I think my monster lineup isn't great. Could have been moved around a lot, but for what it is and the fact that how much testing it would take to put into it, I think it's pretty good. So Snatch Steal, you can't really do anything with the monster. You can't sacrifice it. Yeah, you have it, which is great, but there's no follow-on to that. Not that there's really anything wrong with that. Same thing for Premature Burial. There's like maybe a total of 2 cards in this entire deck that I would ever want to revive with Premature, so I just went ahead and just bypassed that one. So we play those, then we go on. We play a Smoke Grenade, again, to help support the Gearfried. 1 Rhoda to ensure that we get Gearfried, or any of my several other warriors that I'm running. And moving on, those are the only one-ups. Well, I guess besides the other ones. So let's move those out of the way. 2 Book of Moon, or Book of Life rather. 2 Book of Moon, also play those. 2 Creature Swap, very, very good in this deck. 2 Noblemen, and 2 Upstart. So the reason I'm running 2 Upstart is again because you're so dependent on getting to very specific cards. I want to try to, I guess, fix my hands and get to those puzzle pieces sooner rather than later. So that's what that's for. Nobleman could realistically be really any card, but I guess Nobleman plus Book of Moon, just kind of a easy coverall. And then for Creature Swap, I do play, we'll just start with the 3 ofs. I do play 3 Pyramid Turtle and 3 Giant Rat. So this could be a little bit much, but really one of the brighter sides of Zombie Tiger and Decayed Commander is the fact that they're searchable by both of these, which is a huge, huge, huge plus. Really not much to say. It was tough to try to fit in, like I wanted to put in Vampire Lord, I wanted to put in Ryukoki, I wanted to put in more giant rat targets, be it injection, fairy lily, whatever it might be. But as I'm like building this, it just becomes tougher and tougher to fit all of these cards in. Typically, I don't like going over, I'd say like 16, 17 monsters in GOAT format. Rhoda also counting as a monster, along with the Book of Lives are technically, the way I view them is they're technically a monster card. They're just extenders, but they're monster cards. So I don't want to go above and beyond too far. So it's tough to continuously try to put something in and it still be effective. I am running only 2 copies of both Zombie Tiger and Decayed Commander. I started with 3. Obviously, I think 3 and 3 was the place to start. I don't want to start from 1 and build up. But it's, even with all the searchers, even with the 4 cards as draw power, it's tough to actually get both of these on the field at the same time. In a game state that extends. And I think that's because when I'm testing, I'm playing against like my Chaos decks. I do this thing where I just like sit down and I'll play both decks, and it's kind of like a game of chess against yourself. It's the only way I can play, unfortunately, because I don't have anyone to play test with. But this deck, playing against like Chaos decks, Monarch decks, like decks that are definitely a little bit better and have higher ceilings, the games are gonna end quicker. So if I don't draw these pieces, they don't come together at the same time. Luckily, though, Decayed Commander is useful by itself. It does not have to be equipped in order to discard a card. So I think as I'm playing, the better ratio is going to be playing 1 Zombie Tiger, 2 to 3 Decayed Commanders. And then this Zombie Tiger can become, like I said, that other Decayed Commander or any other card. And then you can rely on your Giant Rats and Pyramid Turtle to bring these cards into the game for you, and then Book of Moon to be able to revive them as needed. So I think that's the way I would go moving forward. Then we have the 2 Gearfried in order to support the trap lineup and the smoke grenade. So it kind of definitely, with the effect of Decayed Commander and Zombie Tiger, turned into more of a hand control type thing. And I don't run Trap Dust Shoot because hopefully with Decayed Commander and Zombie Tiger, they won't have many cards in their hand. Trap Dust Shoot would literally only be effective basically opening turn. So smoke grenade's good. Delinquent Duo tied with Decayed Commander, and on top of that, Spirit Reaper. So that can kind of help, but Spirit Reaper also helps with hand control. But I've said this before, and I'll always say it, is Spirit Reaper always forces a card to activate. And that's why I think it shines especially well in this deck. Maybe so much to play more copies, really tough for me to find the room. Spirit Reaper, having that hand control, forcing out Book of Moons, forcing out Sakurites, using Mirror Forces, turns for tributes, whatever it might be, anything that allows Decayed Commander to get in there and get those attacks. That's why Spirit Reaper is more useful than a lot of other cards. And then to finish up the lineup, I have, let's move these out of the way, Mystic Swordsman level 2. I do have this in the main deck. I think this can be pushed to the side deck in favor of any kind of main deck choice. Maybe my recruiters, maybe I could only have 2 Giant Rat, 2 Pyramid Turtles, whatever it might be. I do like 3 and 3 along with triple creature swap. I'm not playing Sangan. I probably should be playing Sangan. I could drop a Zombie Tiger for Sangan in order to, again, facilitate that search. But this could also probably be moved to the side deck in favor of something different main deck. But I guess being searchable by Rhoda and Giant Rat, and just in general being a pretty solid card, matchup dependent, I guess, I just include it in the main deck. 1 Exiled Force is probably one of the best cards in the format, and 1 Gigantes. So the reason I threw in Gigantes, I was thinking of putting like, hey, if I can fit in like 2 of these, that's not bad. Again, it serves very much the same purpose as like the Dust Tornadoes, Blast of Chains for clearing out back row, but this deck is, with this many recruiters, it's so reliant on normal summons that if something happens to your normal summon, or you can't build a field because of the normal summon, you want the special summons. And that's where the Book of Lives, and presumably in this case, Gigantes. Gigantes could definitely become a 2 of in this deck, maybe even more, I don't know. I think it fits in very well with Zombie Tiger and Decayed Commander. I do believe moving forward, as I play this deck a little bit more, if I focus more on Decayed Commander and Zombie Tiger as an Earth type, as opposed to even looking at their zombie types outside of Book of Moon, because I do think, or Book of Life, I do think Book of Life is very important for supporting those two, but also while being able to keep their numbers low, but focusing on the Gigantes and Earth aspect of the deck, along with like Gearfried and Warrior type stuff, I think it might play a little bit better. But that is what I have for Decayed Commander Zombie Tiger type deck. Let me know what you guys think, what you would change, anything that, and please like, comment, subscribe, and I will talk to you later. Thanks again.